Me and my nigga is arguing,
She been
and
alright
these
all day.
niggas would think I'm single. They wouldn't know nothing. Like it's then, it's something. It's a barrier here. It's not like Instagram.
I think he knew how naive I was. He knew I had been bedbound for almost 10 years, that I was bedbound since I was almost a teenager. I mean, I was only 21, and that I was like super green, super naive, missed my whole 20s to learn all those
These
lessons.
people are crazy.
To teach me the things that I could have used to protect myself from somebody like him. And I think he kind of took advantage of that. And then I think when it didn't work, now he hates me, and it doesn't make sense to me because it's like, wait, so you manipulated me. You let these women do all of these things. You even participated in most of it. And now you hate me because everybody knows about it. Because I unintentionally I shared my visions with you, then you shared them with everybody else. You are the one. I was trying to protect him. I told him everything in private. He was telling everything. So when I found out that he was doing that, and when he had them start doing all that magic on me, and I started.
That he's just doing it to you. Because hear me out.
Not to cut you off, Supreme.
That motherfucker. Every time I go off on this motherfucker, is because he decided to come on Bigo and say something that was said in private messages, and then I have to go off on his ass. I be going off on his ass, but I also know that he does that. It's almost as if it's a humiliation kink or some shit.
Money's already admitted in front of everybody he has that.
A humiliation kink? I could tell.
That he has, what did she call it? He was a sadist or something? And like he or a masochist or something, and that she let him do it. She didn't mind it.
A certain motherfucking level with the mental manipulation shit, I be having to chop his tree down a couple motherfucking notches for the hell of it. But I love him and he's so sweet. Because at the end of the day, 7 is not real. I wake up, I roll over. This man is not in my world. He not motherfucking real.
But all I did was walk away from him and leave him a nice note saying, if this is the life you want, to be poly, you know, if you love something, you let it go. If it comes back to you, it's meant to be. I left things alone. I walked away from him. He's the one that chased me down the app, trying to find me, trying to bring me back. He even used Sumerian to do it one time. He's the one that kept coming for me, and he was having them do all that black magic. And then he's telling everybody I'm stalking him and shit when I'm leaving him alone.
When Seven be talking about doing magic, I be thinking he be doing it. But I have had dreams of motherfucker. And I do know that's suspicious. That's suspicious. You know why? Because I never met this motherfucker a day in my life. So how
can you intercede in your dreams in any way? Like prevent yourself from doing something?
I'm lucid.
Okay, well, don't eat anything or drink anything. That's what I can tell you.
I heard that before. Well, I don't usually have opportunities to eat. It's always something happen where I can't eat. Like if we in the fucking cafeteria and everybody can place, just something always happens where I can't get mine or some shit. I don't remember having no meal in the dream. Probably ate some coochie in the dream before. But you probably shouldn't even indulge in that.
No, that's how you know somebody is trying to access your sacral energy.
Oh yeah. He must have been trying to get me, girl. But I be feeling like sometimes, like, if people have a lust towards you, or like even like photos and stuff like that, they could tap into that. Like,
They can. That's how the jar spell was done on me.
that bitch put you in a jar.
Yeah, I had to call fire and Psalms to rescue me. Not to rescue me, because I broke out myself. And then I called them and I was like, this is what the fuck's been happening. I know what's happening. And, that bitch put me in a jar, and now I've escaped and this is everything that's been happening. And I told them both at the same time so nobody could lie to each other because I didn't know what was happening.
Man, better read Psalm 91 on that hoe. Nah, fuck with that type of shit.
They did a freezer spell over and over and over and over and over again. They did the jar spells. They did the death magic. I mean, it was just, and he said the day that he confessed, he was like, we wouldn't stop. I wouldn't stop because you wouldn't keep prophesizing everything we were doing, and there was no way for you to know about it. And it made me more and more angry. What excuse is that to keep going after someone? That's why I didn't accept his apology. Like, I didn't respond to him. When he was asking for forgiveness and crying, I didn't say anything. I stayed on mute. Because for you to basically tell me you're not sorry, you're sorry I'm not dead, is what I heard him say. I'm sorry you survived.
Girl, he is not being serious. He is not. He's not being serious. That's terrible that he would say that, but I do 100% believe that he was saying.
Whether he thinks, okay, here's what I will tell you.
But that is really
if he's playing games with me,
that's more fucked up
he's
than
a
this.
problem. No. Listen to this. Here's also what I've seen. If he is playing games with me, he doesn't realize that they're actually doing it, and he thinks this is a game. Because I've already been shown everything, and I've been right about everything, and he's like, how do you know everything? So how can I be right about everything but be wrong about that? But he's so mad at me for...
But how is he gonna know that you know some shit that he never knew, Queen? He never knew that shit. He didn't even know, and you know why? I know that he didn't know.
Why?
When his ass, they don't be talking about you, Queen. They don't. But I guess you was texting him the other day, and he literally made a joke about it. And he didn't say your name at all. But I knew he was talking about you. Just because he mentioned Moneybag. And nigga don't be talking about her either.
But he's the one that's been reaching out to me recently.
But hear me out. He do that. He gonna do that. He roll over. He asks his bitch for some pussy. She say no. He go text bitches in his phone. It be like that sometimes. Niggas do that. Don't even take that shit personal or to heart. Shit. A motherfucker gotta do a little bit more to text than get Queen attention. But it's a joke. Like, to him, it's a joke. Like, even if Moneybag did go out of her way, because Moneybag has threatened to do spells on me. Like, when I told you the story I was just telling you about, when I read her ass from A to Z, she's threatened to whoop, 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 your ancestors, your family, your mom. Like, yeah, she does that. She will say foul things out of her motherfucking mouth. But you know that the field around me, the protection around me, you know that shit's just bouncing off.
It's bouncing
He's
off.
saying it.
They don't realize that it hasn't.
But you
They-
are allowing it to affect you, Queen.
The
Only
reason
for
it
the simple
affected
fact
me is
that-
what you don't understand. That what Sumerian used against me was that I shared what happened to me when I went to break up with my ex, and he held me captive for 6 hours. It was like 3 to 6 hours where he like beat me so bad and raped me so bad, because if he said to me that if it was the last time he was gonna have young pussy this young, he was gonna enjoy it. And Sumerian was watching in the window, and I was explaining this to 2 women that were sharing their victim stories. This was something I hadn't spoken about since it happened to me. I drove away in that car with my best friend. I cried all the way home, and I promised myself I didn't want to deal with it. I wanted to do nothing. I shared my story on Fire's panel in resting mode. This is at the time I was being watched. But at that time, I wasn't aware I was being watched yet. Then I started getting the visions. So I started checking the views. No matter where I went, the 3 same Bigo viewers were there. No matter how long I was there at the panel, no matter how long I would stay in Dope's room or Spilly's room. And if I fell asleep there, they were on 15 hours, whatever, 19 hours, because they fell asleep too. It was creepy. It was like 2 to 3 people at all times were always watching me. And I was just shown, so I just started paying attention to it. I didn't have all the pieces at that time. So as time went on and I kept getting more and more visions and putting the pieces together, that's how I was able to solve my own case of who it was, why they were doing it. And when Psalms confessed that it was just because I was speaking about what was happening to me publicly, about what I was seeing, because I felt comfortable with Spilly, with my visions, because he didn't make me feel like I was going to hell for having the gift of prophecy. So they kept doing it because I kept talking about it comfortably with my friend, not knowing at the time I was being watched. Because the only person I came to about it was Psalms privately, trying to protect him. In the very beginning, I told him, something's about to happen that's about to change your path. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know how strong my gifts were going to get. Now, even if someone thinks a plan, it's instantly downloaded to me within a couple of hours. At that time, I was seeing things a year and a half out. I ended up telling him about something that was going to end up finishing off towards the end of this year, maybe the summer, whatever. I had no idea what was happening to me. That's why I feel like such a victim in this situation, because it's like, damn, I was awakening. I was experiencing all of my gifts, all I knew was to share, and I was trying to protect you, Psalms. But you went back and you told the demons everything I was saying. And then they turned against me. If what you're saying is right and he didn't know, then either he was a part of it, which is what I was shown. So I don't know how much of a part of it he was. That's the thing. And because he would not be honest with me about things, I've tried to level with him this entire time because I never wanted him to get hurt. I was trying to tell him things so that he knew, look, I know I'm protected. You need to be honest with me so that I can help you, but you want to keep lying and lying and lying. I didn't know he was doing this because he had a wife and a kid. I knew about the kid, thought they were separated, done and over with before he ever met me. If he would have just been honest with me, none of this would have went down this way. I would have always kept him safe. It's like he put himself in his own grave and now he hates me because all I ever tried to do was protect him. And then once I realized he wasn't protecting me at all, did not give a fuck, I quit protecting him and I started worrying about protecting myself by making sure my story was out there.
He don't hate you, girl. He thinks that you're obsessed with him. He thinks that you're obsessed with crazy.
He knows that's not true because he's the one obsessed. That can't be possible. The only thing I ever tried to come back to him for afterwards was to help him with his ascension process. It was never about love. So the fact that I knew that we were twin flames, the fact that I knew that I couldn't get past what he had done to me, so I did not want to be with him again. And I also thought I saw actually that he was a permanent cheater. He would break our covenant. I never wanted him back. But I was willing to help him because I don't allow people to get hurt. I'm a protector.
Shit. I say for that motherfucker from shit. I do want you to know that I understand what you mean. Like, you know, especially around these parts. Because I feel like after so many conversations of this depth and severity, you know, without the proper regard, motherfucker change their religion every 3 months.
I know.
Have you noticed?
Since I met him, it's just been universal spirituality. That's why I thought we believed in the same thing. But when he's in front of this panel, it's Father King.
Yes. Queen, like on like months ago, he was wanting me to read his chart. Like he was coming from the perspective of, you know, people
he told me he let money read his palm and all that. He thought all this shit was cool. He was telling me things that were happening because I did not want him back. Like I was willing to come back and be friends with him and help him with his ascension process. But every time I did, he disrespected me because I was a woman and I would walk away. He would disrespect me as like, basically, you're not a high priestess, basically. You're not good enough to be my teacher. So I kept walking away. I just wanted to help him ascend to get out of this situation, but he's made things so bad. And there's no way I can help him now. It doesn't look like. And now why should I even want to?
Girl,
You just
you
tried to
can't help
blackmail.
nobody.
You just
You
tried to
can't help
blackmail me to
nobody
get naked.
ascend that don't want no help. You can't just help nobody ascend that didn't ask for no help or that you was not placed to help. You can't, you know.
Yeah. That's why I told him what, like, if he's ready. And it was always seeming like this, oh yeah, I'm ready. But then there was this disrespectful ass. I'm kind of a no nonsense.
Yeah, that whole aggravating, and it was just that she was protecting whatever they had going on. Well, just a couple months ago, my girl, just a couple months ago, he had her feeling like this, but she wasn't saying that that's how she was feeling. She was showing it, meaning letting that nigga disrespect her every day, kick out the motherfucking piano, call her a bitch, a hoe, and a eater, and kick her out the motherfucking panel. And she would be right back on that panel tomorrow. Nigga could say go feed your kids. And she gonna be back on that panel tomorrow.
That's why today I told her you have no respect for yourself.
Because
she came up here trolling and bragging about you missed the way I
having a threesome with you. Did you hear that?
I heard that, but you missed when she came up here tonight, and I had to put her on blast and tell in front of everybody how I heard her conversation about Brother Void. In front of Brother Void.
Bro, I was out with my man. I missed everything.
She ended up coming up here talking about Psalms, you missed the way I sucked that dick and all this stuff, and I was like, have some respect for yourself. Like, I said it just like that. Like, I was like, have some respect for yourself. Like, the way you're behaving is disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. But then I got angry because she just kept provoking me. And finally, I ended up saying what happened when I heard what she told Brother Void about what she did to her baby's father. It's the absolute truth. I know the two women she went to. I know when she tried to go back to them to help her again with Psalms, and they told her they didn't want anything to do with her. It was something about some loss she made them have. They didn't trust her. And she was explaining that to him. I don't know. All I know is that I ain't done shit in this situation. Except for go through the ascension process. And in that, I decided to get off the app because I have these two crazy bitches doing all this shit to me while I'm trying to ascend. And I'm like, I'm not letting y'all fuck this up for me. Because I've been working on my ascension process since I was younger. And this was one of my biggest ascensions that I've ever experienced. Now, I was also shown the reason my ascensions were so monumental. Like when I experienced my Phoenix Rising, that was the amount
like hot flashes.
That was the amount of death magic. Like
around this part where I am right now, it'd be the outer visions, like I told you earlier. I get hot flashes, I get cold flashes. Dreams, mostly lucid, but I never been the type to have recurrent dreams. But wherever I am in the astral working right now, I'm at sea. Because I've been on this giant ship working.
Mm.
But that makes sense though, because part of my mission on this planet is to have this body to dream with. My name is Hebrew and translates to the one who rests. And I sure do.
That is cool.
A complete lucid dreamer. Mars and Pisces, conjunct Neptune, conjunct my moon. So.
You know what my name means? My real name?
What?
God is grace.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah. Makes you wonder, like, if the Most High knew everything beforehand, do our names describe why we live the lives we live? Like, why I'm so blessed? I honestly don't know, bro.
Your son's your father, your moon's the mother, your rising, which is denoted by the exact moment that you were born. That's the part of that makes you different.
You're asking my. Sorry, I'm a Virgo.
I wasn't asking if you didn't want to share. You know, I wasn't asking, but I was.
I think it's best if I don't share on the app right now because of the attack that I'm under.
Do not, yeah. And I was just saying.
But I already have shared today, and it wasn't smart.
When you tell somebody your rising sign, if they have the knowledge that I have, they can see your whole chart, like in their mind. If I know that a Cancer rising has Capricorn in there, I see in the Aries MC. Like, that's too much information. You know, don't share your rising.
I was shown what they did wrong. That's how I know he was involved. I was also put through humiliation rituals through the women by them.
You just give me a motherfucking flashback.
The women knew things about me.
Moneybag asked me to read your chart.
Did you?
No, I didn't even pull it up. I told her that she was weird as fuck for that. But she asked me to pull your shit up. She asked me to do that.
Thank you so much for protecting me in that moment, honey.
I just remembered that shit, but she did ask me that shit in like October.
That's what they got wrong. Since you know.
Girl. Yeah, she weird.
So she is the main. One of them shows up as the main. What I do know is that they both bind themselves to men to drain they're energy vampires that drain energy from men who have a lot of women around them. Like, so they gain the energy from those women from those men. Like, those men collect the women. They don't know they're doing this. The men are not doing this. The men are not doing this on purpose. But what the women are doing, they know what they're doing. And what they're doing is they're realizing his panel is a hot panel for them to allow him to collect all this energy.
I have messages of 7 talking about his panel, right? And then he said something. He said, I will argue that you're under my spell. I'm going to type in spell in my messages. That's exactly what he said. I would argue that you're under my spell. And then I showed him examples of the stuff that happened to people that also threatened me with spells, because There was 3 occurrences of bitches that claimed that they was going to hex me or do a spell on me. And they cars is smashed up. Badass car accident. Don't even be speaking bad shit towards me, bro.
Everything I've been shown,
I
girl,
remember
is what they
even
wished on me.
I'm
Everything I've been shown is what they wished on me.
He
Like,
said, he be playing with the idea of being a warlock, but I do want of us to understand that when we get in these groups and we is congregating together and reading certain texts, and we all know that everybody ain't coming from the same mind and the same perspective even with the text, that energy exchange is worth something at the end of the day. And I be watching the spirit jump from one person to another person. I like people flashing out, or like spirits of anger.
I've already told them about that. I told them that
I watch it. I think
the
it's hilarious.
the 7 princes of hell, and the 7 sins can either run through a group that's connected or one particular person.
Like people be on this whole drinking, whoop de whoop, start tripping out. It's But I do know that certain people are more inclined to do that, like and collects energy. And I don't think it's necessarily the bitches because, boom, motherfuckers really just be chilling, vibing with who they vibe with at the end of the day. I watched as everybody kind of split off. But when I came onto the app, I feel like it was already people established as friends, or people established by background, or people that just knew that whatever was not what they was fucking with, that they wasn't fucking with, and therefore they was not fucking with me. And I know that over the last 8 or 9 months, I would literally measure that a year now. Wow. Been on Beaker for a year. Cool. It's true. True birth. I probably met y'all literally 1 year ago. And people then stashed and slashed and fucked with each other, and there's drama here, drama there, and this shit happens. But I do think that taking stuff from here and allowing that shit to move your body to do anything hateful is really weird, and that's not good. But I don't think that putting everybody else's attention on it or putting everybody else in the know about it is going to have the same effect as we will probably want it to, only for the simple fact of when you're working with that type of stuff, you have to understand that attention is paid. So by having other people observe the situation fuels it. It's the same type of illumination work that they do with this damn Bible by reading the same verses over and over and over. So, now you put the situation into other people's ears, who then go and talk about it on other panels, or to people who probably go talk about it on other panels, and they're fueling what probably was a weak ass freezer spell. But now it's causing you stress or distress, or even
what caused me stress is having to deal with my rape. That's the only reason I was stressed. I had never dealt with it. It happened when I was younger. That was the trauma I experienced. I finally had to deal with it. None of the other stuff caused me stress because it didn't affect me. I was protected. Dealing with me being held captive all those hours and how badly I was beaten, and having to finally deal with the fact that it happened to me, because before that moment, I could not say the words out loud that I was raped. And now I can say it. I'm free. Couldn't say I was raped because someone took my power away in such a big way when I kept my body sacred. I didn't break my virginity until, I was at a late age. I was 19 years old, which doesn't sound late, but I guess to me in today's society is late. And for him to do that to me after 2.5 years because I drove with my best friend 3.5 hours to break up with him because I thought it was mean to break up over the phone. And then him to hold me captive for 3 to 6 hours, to beat me as badly as he did and hold me there. And I kept trying to call my best friend. She wasn't picking up. She was far away. She was visiting her father of her child. She wasn't responding. He was out in the middle of nowhere. It was one of the toughest things I've ever been through, and I had decided I was not going to deal with it. I'm a person who preaches about healing from everything you've been through, and I have. I've healed from everything. I've dealt with my childhood, no matter how abusive it was, which was horrible. I've dealt with everything that's ever happened to me, but that one moment that I shared, and the fact that I had the vision of them setting me up to have that happen so that I could relive it, that's what I called Psalms and Fire about. After I escaped the jar spell, by the time I got out, I had already dealt with the rape. And I was so frantic that as soon as I got out, I got in touch with both of them. And I said, I am sending you both the same messages right now. And both of you are going to know this information because neither one of you are going to lie to each other. I don't know what's happening. I don't know who's doing this. All I know is this is what has happened to me. I've prophesied everything. Psalms, you have laughed in my face about it throughout this entire time. Like, I just told everything because I was like, this is done. I was finally out of that jar. When I left the app, I left to finish helping Dave with his ascensions, and I kept going through ascensions. So I was like, this is a toxic environment. I had already broken my generational curses. I was already too high ranked for them to do spell work on. I was completely safe when I left. They could never touch me. And Sumerian had been doing spell work when I was on the app, along with Moneybag, which 2 women were doing spell work on me. One of them I know for absolute sure and facts was Moneybag. Psalms and Money have admitted that now. They've done it on multiple panels. And I also heard Money and Sumerian say to each other, when I got off this panel and they thought I left, but I was in the views, that they can't wait. I can't wait till I get home to do spell work on that bitch. Money said something like that, and Sumerian said, yeah, I got my own little thing I do. I heard that with my own ears. It was not a vision. It was not anything else besides me just hearing the confession. So that's all I know. And I've been trying to put these pieces together by myself. And it's been really lonely. And I've been trying to tell everyone because I wanted them to make it stop and help me, but nobody would. Because Psalms kept saying that I was doing black magic. Sumerian kept saying that I was doing black magic. I read tarot. I was a witch. I blah, blah, blah. I would never do anything bad to anyone. In fact, I love these gentlemen. You know, I would make sure Fire was safe. I would make sure Lion of Yehuda was safe. Kaleem was safe. And this is a love that is a brotherhood that I've been involved. I feel like I've been involved in the same church as them. So it's just a protection thing. They don't understand my character. If they did, they wouldn't have anything to be afraid of. Except for being absolutely truthful with me to make sure that they're safe. Because of all the lies, because of all the cover-up, because of all the fuckery that Psalms has got himself into, and them trying to blackmail me for those nudes a couple days ago, that's when this all exploded. That's when I said I'm exposing them, and that's when I did. I came to Fire's panel. I said, is he married? He's with her? And I cried because I've never been with anyone else's man before. I've never cheated before. I've never been in a third-party situation. I lost it. And then I sent Fire all the messages of Psalms trying to blackmail me for my nudes because I was already shown he was going to do it anyway. He didn't know that. He's an idiot.
I'm blackmailed you for nudes.
So I'm in the process of healing now, honey. The only thing that I was ever hurt by was having to heal from my rape. It was never about Psalms. And that's the thing that makes me the most crazy, is that he's such an egomaniac. That he thinks this is about him. My anger has to do with the fact that these two women think that they can take free will of people and affect so many lives now. That's my anger. Because I've spent my life protecting people and walking in the spirit and trying to do the right things for the Most High. And I've had these two bitches make my life hell for the last year. And it's like, these men that should have protected me, and I would have protected them in any way I knew how, they just totally turned their back on me when this book is the book that they believe in. But when things were happening to me, when I was telling them the tongue is a sword, so that even if Sumerian isn't doing actual magic and she's actually doing the, what was I being shown? I was being shown some kind of Muslim chanting and jinn. And I didn't even know what that was because I don't know about the Quran. I tried to learn about it today. I just know what I know. And they don't see me at all. One of those reasons is because the women have bound their third eyes and crown chakras and heart chakras and root chakras. They don't care about those things, though. They don't know how severe that is. The fact that they bound themselves to those men so that they can do beauty spells and they can do mirror spells and they can do black magic on other people. And the fact that it affected those men in those ways and they weren't able to see anything is not my fault. Like Sumerian said, when she did the humiliation ritual, which she did twice, she said, your mother's way, the book doesn't belong to you, you're disabled, you'll be in pain the rest of your life, your brain is broken, your spine is broken, your father was a heroin addict, he never loved you. The only way that she would have known that information is if Psalms told her. I don't tell my business on this app. That's the part he's missing. The fact that she did that, he invited me back to his panel like he was going to apologize, and she did the exact same humiliation ritual in the exact same way months later after I had left the app and worked on my own healing, trying to reopen all my wounds. What they don't understand about me is that I have no problem being mixed. Can't hurt me with that. I believe that I am protected by the Most High, so it doesn't affect me that you tell me the Bible doesn't belong to me. And the fact that my dad was a heroin addict and is dead, stayed on the phone with him when he would nod off until he came back. I loved him, and I knew that he was set up by the police who passed out the guns and the drugs at that time, like they did in all the major cities. And they did it in inner city Baltimore. And as I got older, I heard from other people that were around my same age it happened in their cities too. Their parents experienced the same shit. My dad was injected at 13 years old by an adult. My dad didn't stand a chance. I have no hate towards my father. So that humiliation ritual did nothing but make me mad that my secrets were known by a bitch who shouldn't have known. So unless you, Psalms, have set me up twice, while you know all this is happening, he doesn't understand how bad he let things get, how bad what he did was, and it doesn't seem like he gives a fuck. The only thing he does is make sure he lets me know, just like he apologized to everybody and told the story on the panel and cried and all that shit. He texted me and cussed me out afterwards because he was like, you made me cry in front of everyone and blah, blah, blah. Because he was embarrassed. So you tell me if he's involved. Was he embarrassed because I made him cry? Because I'm not responding to his text. He just invited me to his panel. When he went live a few hours ago, I didn't go.
I wasn't embarrassed. None of you was embarrassed. That nigga would do the same thing tomorrow. He's not motherfucking embarrassed. He is a troll. That's what
Of course he's gonna say that. He's trying to keep the people that he wants on the back burner, because ultimately He
There's
loves.
no way that he do the same thing to you. He does the same thing to me, girl. The difference
Girl,
is
that's because he's trying to keep you because of
I
your
don't-
rank.
I don't get
Your rank. It's your rank.
that nigga can't get shit out of me. He couldn't even get me to stay for a whole motherfucking chapter of a damn book.
It's the possibility.
Girl, he pissed me off. He texts my phone. I tell that bitch, don't text me no more. I never want to talk to you again. I call him a dumb bitch.
But I do the same thing. It hasn't mattered. I walked away from him a year ago. Look at what's happened to me.
No, I disrespect the fuck out this bitch. In front of people, not in front of people.
Oh, I do it privately.
In front of people.
I don't like to embarrass people publicly.
All on the panel, girl. He's a raggedy, dirty ass bitch that trying to eat up out my pussy. And I will say that out loud. Because that's what you said in my messages in the private. And you be telling my business, so now I'm going to tell your business. But this is the thing. He not my man. We don't talk like that. Sometimes he texts, I don't fucking respond. Sometimes he texts, I probably do respond. But we don't talk every day. Not even half the fucking week. He's not real. In my world, in my day-to-day, every day, when I click that button, he is no longer real. And that's probably kept you safe, honey. That thought of disconnection for you has kept your cord safe. Your cord cutting. It allowed there not to be. And you know, it was mostly because of the fact that I knew very early on that he lived with that girl. I knew he lived with that girl. See, he had that for me from the moment I met him because he knew what kind of woman I was. I asked him straight up. I told him something. It was a message that I had gotten. And it was from Archangel Raphael, but it was about love, which usually don't come through him, but it makes sense. That gave me some perspective of why certain people have certain angels. It's because you have a certain mission with that specific task in love. So for me, it's you know that's who's protecting. That's one of the angels protecting me right now. It's because they're attacking my heart chakra. Mm-hmm. Because your heart chakra is the first one to attack to let demons in. It's the one that you have to attack to let demons in. Girl, I just was on some shit like, it's the L for love or it's the L for lesson or some real ass motherfucking shit before you play with me. Because, girl, this was at the point right before I found out about the baby mama. And he was trying to come. I think this was right before Cali. He was about to come down here. All that shit. I was like, boy, fuck all that shit and fuck you. Boy, you're not real. Anyway. I called him. You were the girl in my vision? Oh, shit. I got him a phone. I was shown he went to California to go be with this girl, and then she cut out on him. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. But that got showed to me too, Queen. Stop it. It was the day that it happened to him. He had the bread to get the little hostel thing that he was staying in, and he had requested it from my Apple Pay. And he was like, you want to donate to the Psalms Travel Fund? And I'm like, not the Psalms Travel Fund, because this is like weeks after nigga decided I'm not never seeing this nigga. Like, this nigga not coming where I'm at, and I'm not going where he at. But like a couple of weeks later is when he went out. He went to California, and he got there, and that bitch did not answer the phone. He got off the plane, and that bitch did not answer the phone. Yep. I just didn't. I keep saying to myself, I just didn't know if it was real or not. I don't know when I'm gonna learn. That did happen. That did. I don't know when I'm gonna learn. I was trying to figure out if that did happen. I'm like, why the fuck is this motherfucker asking me? And then that's where I'm like, is that real? So he was gonna hit you up, then her up? Wow. Like, what the fuck is he? And he literally texted me. He was drunk in the airport. He texted me. He like Sage. I don't know if I should feel stupid. Whoop. He told me what happened, and then he was like, "Did she block me, or you think her phone dead?" And I'm like, "How long it been since she talked to the bitch?" He was like, "Last night." And then later on in the day or whatever, the girl, her man ended up responding or calling back or sending a voice message or something to Psalm. So it's like that bitch was never going to see you because she was her man. So I had to laugh at his ass from New Orleans. Mm-hmm.
I've seen how this all ends though. But
Girl, I ain't worried about it.
I'm not happy about it, man.
It be sad sometimes it don't be sad. His ass probably gonna, I don't know, as long as everybody.
I told him from the beginning.
He ain't nobody on here, man, girl. That man is somebody's husband. As long as they good, then that's all that matters. I hope they good. You know?
No, but my whole thing is, I don't want anyone else to like get hurt in the crosshairs. The only two
motherfuckers is always gonna get hurt.
The only two people I saw going to jail is him and Sumerian.
Not going to jail. Going to jail is good. Because why would they be going to jail? They never even met each other in real life.
Yeah, they did. They had a threesome with Moneybag. He admitted it.
When he said that?
He admitted it in front of the panel and everybody.
What, today? Yesterday?
Girl, you miss everything. It was when he was crying, breaking down. He said, "How did you know all these things? It just made me more and more angry. How did you know I got blah, blah, blah."
Sumerian is not even into girls, so he's literally trolling. Wow. Sumerian don't like women.
You would be surprised.
She don't like women. She don't like poly. She's against that shit.
Yeah, she actually tried to be in a that's not true. She actually tried to be in a poly relationship with Psalms and I.
Not with Psalms and you. That's crazy.
I was the one that wouldn't accept poly, not Sumerian.
He had some money.
I don't know what he's thinking.
Psalms don't got enough money to have.
But Sumerian said it was out of the Bible and it was okay. And then I convinced her that poly was not, that, you know, it should be between a man and a woman. And I showed her in the Bible. And then he came back to her panel after I had shown her the Bible and he convinced her back into it. Because he showed her verses where during the war where they had to repopulate, the women were poly so that they could repopulate the Qadashim.
Sumerian don't fuck with the poly to this day.
Yeah, she demanded her own house. That was her stipulation. The rest of us to live in one and her to have her own. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? And how much money does she think that he had for him to be able to afford her her own house when she was expecting to be taken care of? Her own house, and then take care of the poly family he wanted to build in his own. That was her stipulation, to have her own house. What the fuck? That's a lot of money.
What the fuck?
Sounds like some shit I like. If I was to do, I did tell girl, Asasi, Them motherfuckers.
But I'm
This
saying, who the
motherfucker.
fuck does she think that she is? That she thinks she can demand that of him? What has he shown us, girl? That's what he's willing to provide, or that he's the type of provider that we need, or any of that.
The statement that she's making by saying that is that unless he can attest to that much money and property, then he cannot put her in a type of agreement, arrangement, or situation. That's what she always says. You know, she be being sarcastic and playing into his shit and all that shit, but no, that is actually a joke. She has never met Psalms in real life. They've never met. I've never met him. The only one who has met him and did shit with that man is Moneybag Eva. Because that's what she do. She hopped on that train.
He's lying to you. I hope you know that.
And he didn't tell me.
Because a lot of people are upset about this whole Sumerian and Psalms a lying thing. She was involved in that threesome.
It was the fact that they was on live. They was on live. This bitch was on live on the train all the way there. You understand Moneybag is
I know, but the threesome was a different part of that.
I don't know about no threesome, girl. That's my first time ever hearing about that, but I don't care if they did have the threesome. I don't care.
He was upset that I knew that he got one of them pregnant. He was upset that I knew about the threesome, and he's hysterically crying. But
He was pregnant. This is a lie. This is a lie. Somebody was pregnant.
I don't know if they actually had a baby or they didn't. I don't know what happened. I just knew that it wasn't his. But I told him, do not walk away from that baby. Make sure you get a DNA test. Make sure you, find out that it's not your kid, because you don't rely on visions to walk away from a child's life. I said, you better make sure you get that DNA test, because I was shown it wasn't yours. And when he was breaking down crying, it was just like, there was no way for you to know about, the threesome. There was no way for you to know about me getting her pregnant. He said her. And then today, when Lion was rapping, he said, is she pregnant or is she not? See, they don't think I'm paying attention. They also don't think I'm having visions before I come. Like when Psalms is still trying to do cord ceremonies on me to tie me back with him. Like he's been trying to do all day. But if I'm shown it's not going to work and I'm safe to come because I'm too protected. If I know I'm not going to be protected because that's what I was shown, I won't come. I move according to the Most High. That's what he doesn't understand about me. If he knew how outweighed he was, he just wouldn't even talk to me ever again. He would walk away and we would both be fine.
Hey man, I think both them niggas is crazy. This nigga Fire here and that nigga Songs. And y'all niggas crazy for fucking with them. But carry on, my bad.
What did he say?
I don't know. I don't know. His volume was low.
Super low.
Y'all motherfuckers heard me.
Like, I don't go in spaces where I've been attacked ever before again unless I know I have clearance by the Most High. Like, my protection is guaranteed. They think I'm dumb, but I'm not. They think I'm naive. I'm not. I didn't survive this for nothing. And the fact that Sumerian was going back and forth between fire and Psalms, that's what broke this whole thing open. When he cried and admitted about that threesome, that changed everything for fire. And I feel really sorry for him if Sumerian was making him all these false promises, because I know for a fact when I was on Psalm's panel, she was saying the nastiest shit ever, just like Moneybag, being a slut. They think I'm so stupid. That is what's getting them in trouble. They don't know that I don't move unless I know I'm safe. Because I listen to the Father. The thing that they're supposed to be telling me to be doing, but they don't even realize I'm walking the walk the whole time. I wouldn't be where I was. I wouldn't be this highly protected if I hadn't put all this work in and how I live my life. You know, I give back. I make sure I've never cheated on anyone. I've never been in a third-party situation. I have literally never done anything to create karma on myself because of the way that I've lived my life, non-intentionally at least. I haven't. If I did it by accident, I did it by accident. But as far as intentionally, never done anything intentional. Taken revenge on anybody, never done anything. I've been gifted since I was 6. They don't understand who I am, and that is the downfall. And that's not my fault, because I would have protected you if you had just been honest.
Oh, we crazy for messing with them weirdos. Oh, it's okay because this internet is not real, you know? I just be liking to read the Bible sometimes with people that's not religious. That's my own. No, babe, it's not real. As soon as I press the button and it's gone, it's not here. It's not real. I can put you on mute and kick you out. How y'all both have a vision
And the thing is,
about the same lame nigga? It be niggas that had a vision. Who was talking about a fucking vision? Who was talking about having a vision about a nigga?
Somebody who was probably in the window for a really long time listening.
Like, he tried it. Because I said I had a motherfucking dream I was eating pussy. He don't have no pussy. Go ahead on. You is trying real hard. Fuck you think I want? Yes, you're right. This is entertainment. I am smoking weed. No, babe. I got a whole man in real life, babe. But y'all for real internet dating. I do not go with this man. This is what I've been trying to tell my niggas for months. I don't go with this man. I don't go with Psalms. That man has a whole
That's how you know that's not Psalms. That's one of the women, because if that was Psalms, then they would know that we have not been fucking with him.
It ain't even that I don't fuck with him. I talk to him. He cool people. I think he cool to read with.
No, I'm talking about in that way.
I like his narrator voice, you know. He could read a book to a nigga while I wash the dishes or something. But as far as date, date is crazy. That gotta be a woman. I don't know, it's a dude because they did just came up and their voice was a dude.
Bam just left the panel.
Bam been listening this whole time. Bam ass ain't sleep. If motherfuckers is motherfucking talking about anything, I don't even fuck. I really don't care about none
Well,
of these
everything
people.
I said to you, I've already said to everybody, so it doesn't matter.
Well, you know, they be trying to be messy. Just be trying to be messy. But I don't pay. I pay dust to dust this. Lion Yehuda in the comments too. He was been here just to vibe, dude.
Yeah, I know Lion. I know Lion's been here.
He cool people. I fucks with Lion. I fuck with Boom too. I think he'll, you know, he has a very mutable temperament. He's an energy matcher. But sometimes he do be jumping the gun, kind of like Toon Time. Like, baby, don't get defensive before I attack you. Because getting defensive prematurely will make me want to attack you to see what you're doing. That's probably like, bro, this is not real. Sometimes I come into Fire's panel to listen and, you know, share. But sometimes I come into Fire's panel because this panel, because he calls it Fire, is very susceptible to chaos. And I think it's hilarious. Like, you can come up and you can say that you don't agree with somebody or that they're wrong, and then you can leave. And they're going to.
It doesn't help that one of the women are doing major chaos magic.
Oh, Lord.
They have been. I don't know if they do it for entertainment purposes or they do it like because they're trying to create destruction in something or what they're doing it for, but it doesn't help the panel.
It doesn't help the panel at all.
I mean, hello, nobody's listening to each other.
Nobody do it. I feel like, do they realize that they're doing that when they do it? Like, everybody like starts talking all at once, almost like a classroom fucking.
It's like the church we talked about.
Yes. It is that church.
But I told Fire though, I'm really proud of him today though, because today went really, really, really well. Fire's he's trying to change his panel and trying to make it different and trying to create a different environment, and I'm proud of him for that. But he's also cutting off people that he knows are involved in stuff like that because he's realizing what's happening through me expressing myself this last year. Now that he gets what's happening through Psalms confessing.
But I don't know. I feel like if you're going to come to spirituality with the perspective of like denouncing all of that shit, that would include work. But what is prayer without work?
Prayer without works is dead.
Like, I feel like Fire demonizes anything in practice. I've been noticed that.
Well, that's why I said you have to walk the walk. Yeah. And, you know, for him, the walk is the laws. It's like following the laws.
He's seeing it as just the laws, but I feel like you cannot even follow the law completely without practice, just because what is the Torah? And then he gets spooked out when I start to talk about the toric field of your own body. That's too spooky for Fire. But Torah is okay. So I know that if I dive deep into what certain shit is, that he just...
You should have been here today then, because we were actually having this conversation, like, about how the cross is inside your body. You've got your 33 vertebrae, you've got your 12. I mean, your body is the representation of everything of it.
And that's why the celestial bodies is a good focal point.
Terrestrial.
And it literally says in script that the natural body comes first and then the celestial body, which is why it can be used as signs of ailments, signs of sacred times, signs. It's not the cause, because natural and then ethereal. Crazy shit though. But he has like a barrier when it comes to certain barriers that don't align with my ancestry. But it makes sense because my bloodline is not run off patriarchy. I come from a matriarch.
I do too.
So a lot of the patriarchy.
I won't say that I came. I know that in order to free my ancestors, I had to free them of what happened to them when they were high priestess and they were in charge of the holy information and the natural healing through herbs. This is part of my native. I'm native on both sides of my parents. And when I was seeing what was happening, it was like, damn, sorry, I got sidetracked for a second. I knew I shouldn't have looked over there. Every time I do that, I knew I was too sleepy to do that. Oh, I remember where I was going. So I had to free them of the rule that they went from the healers of their community that everybody could trust to heal through natural foods and natural herbs and natural herbs and foods as medicines. And they could be trusted with like sacred knowledge, and they could be trusted to go to as high priestess. And then when the men that they married came through generation after generation, stripping their rights, telling them they had no right to lead, no right to heal, no right to give messages from the Most High, that was the generational curse I had to break. Which meant I couldn't be connected.
I'm having deja vu right now. Like the comments and everything, but keep going.
It's normally nothing, but y'all could help to illuminate this panel. It's normally nothing but ignorance.
They don't let bad bitches talk. They want to yell. I don't yell over men.
Well, today's been a really good day. And Fire does want to make a change in his panel for the change of the better for everyone getting their voices heard. So I think you would be surprised if you tried to share more of your knowledge, honey. That's why I keep telling people, don't base things on the past, base things on the new him. And if he shows you a different side of him in the future, then judge that. But, give him a fresh start with that, with the panel, because if we do have information that can help people grow and heal, it's important that we help to do that.
Someone said the same thing to me. One time, she asked me to read her chart too. And it was really getting into like family, home, and a lot of part of her purpose is a lot of her purpose for a lot of the things that she does is, you know, to know what she bringing children into in the proper way to protect them, guide them. She a very, very maternal figure. And she was after her reading or whatever, she was like, you gotta do something with this. She was like, why don't you talk about it more often? And I was literally just like, because I don't want them to burn me at the stake.
No, honey, you really should try to free yourself of that past preconceived notion and at least give it a shot, even if it's in baby steps. Because you have to meet people where they're at. So if it's new information, you have to introduce that information slowly so that people can understand it, so that they don't feel like you're trying to lead them astray. And, give Fire that grace to let him prove that to you.
That's why most of my study, my practice right now is discerning the signs through scripture and actually being able to put together the storylines and the bloodlines that are attached to these star systems, because we're made of stars. Like, it's our gene pool.
It's the same elements.
It's our genetic.
On Earth are the same elements that are in the stars. That's what people don't get. That's what I think is crazy.
Yep. And that's why
do you remember earlier in the conversation we were talking about forgiveness?
Yeah.
And the brother misinterpreted you?
Yeah.
The crazy thing about these men is that when they misinterpret it, they lack the self-awareness to see if they made a mistake. Because I actually made the same mistake that he made, but I was able to correct myself when you explained it more thoroughly. Because at first we were all like, "Oh, she's trying to get the lady to ask for forgiveness," which would be crazy. That would imply that you were stupid.
Right.
Then you were like, "No, we're not. I'm not doing that."
I respected you so much because I saw exactly as soon as you heard me respond to him like that. Like, why would I, as a woman, tell another woman? And you were immediately like, oh, I got it wrong. And I knew immediately, I forgave you immediately, just so you know. Because I knew by the tone of your voice that you just knew you got it wrong and it was a simple mistake, and I didn't hold that at all.
Yeah, but that dude, he couldn't admit that he made a mistake because he wanted you to be wrong. And they went on and on and on and on and on, trying to make it seem like you were crazy when you were just trying to help. But they do that all the time. People will misinterpret something and then assume that you're trolling or dumb or something like that without saying, well, hey, maybe I might be not understanding or something like that. So it's like people got to, not you, but I'm saying that especially men, they got to work on their self-awareness. They got to say, hey, you got to be humble. Like, maybe I might not know everything. I could be wrong. I got to be up for correction. There's nothing wrong with being corrected. It actually helps you grow as a person.
I respect that. I'll definitely make sure that, I talk to Fire about that, because I do feel like it's important for everyone to be heard. And if Fire is trying to take his panel in a different direction, he has my full support and respect, because that's all this is about, is us making an environment for an environment where people can come of different faiths and grow. If we're not doing that, I don't want to be a part of it. He knows that, because it's a waste of all of our time.
I think it was okay today. They screamed and yelled a little bit, but I think they acclimated themselves and it was all right.
Yeah, I think it went well. I actually congratulated everyone on the way that they did, because I felt like
them having some goddamn sense.
I feel like everyone did really good today, and I was proud, because when it did go off the rails for a second, Fire corrected it, And he said, hold on, man. Let Queen explain what she's trying to say. And then got motion even stood up for me. And he said, yeah, man, because I even thought she was off for a second before I realized what she meant. And then Fire was like, yeah, let her help that woman.
Yeah.
And then they let me speak. And I was like, see, so Fire is trying to create a different environment. So, like, we gotta, when we see people growing and changing, we gotta allow people to do that. We gotta give them that grace and mercy.
I was happy that Fire was going over the damn coats of arms with me because, you know, some stuff that they be talking about, I was already knowing, but who the fuck about to interrupt the conversation and say, hey guys, I knew this already. Here's where you should look. I like to see the build happen. So the fact that he could detach from all the hocus pocus, you know, for a second and look at the shit objectively, that was dope. All right, look at that. Look at that. And then he pulled up the other day, he pulled the coins up. So now he's open to looking at symbology in practice without demonizing it as discerning omens like he was acting before.
But the thing is, like, that we're not like 15th century Christians, you know, from the Dark Ages.
Literally.
You know, that burning witches and saying you can't do stuff like that. The magic is ripe throughout the Bible. Moses was using magic when he was in Pharaoh's courthouse, like, and they were having that snake battle. That's 100% magic. You think he didn't learn any magic? This is what I told you all the time. You think those Hebrews were wandering around Egypt for 300 years and didn't learn anything from Egypt? That's crazy. That's like
No, that's the reason they. Yeah, I mean I even explained that magic. Remember, I agreed with you. I said, yeah, he had the right because of his Egyptian bloodline.